Over time, I have seen that there are some misperceptions about my guidance, and I want to present 8 of them to you today. 1. All my teachings and promises are about if you stay with me and follow me over time. So, I actually guarantee that you go to your consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union, which you will be with a true twin flame. Know who it is, sometimes be able to be together with them physically already immediately. Sometimes you need to see that a little bit broader, but you will start to work on that, to build towards that at that time. It will be with a true twin flame too, and that will be actually true. And that will mean that it will be in a joy that it's supposed to be about, and also that the door towards your abundance will open up. Only person through which that happens, your natural soul's abundance, what God wants you to have, all the joyful experiences that your heart longs for will come out. That's what that means. What your soul uniquely desires, you will experience. But that consciousness state, I can bring you there, guaranteed. And then you can start to build that. And the idea is that we're still doing that together for a while, because it will be somewhat challenging in the beginning, and then it will be more and more streamlined for you, what you will be experiencing there. In the building of the stage of being in the consciousness state of harmonious union. And all of that I can say and do, and I guarantee that for you. But that is all about if you come to me, make use of the options that I have for you, such as group coaching, one-on-one coaching, coming in the community, making use of the open events that are there, making use of the correct tools and stuff, and building a relationship with me. And that's what it is really about. That's where things can start to flow for you and towards you, etc. Because it is, after all, a spiritual teaching that spreads itself through spiritual teacher to spiritual student. And it's like a consciousness that springs over from me to you. And then you're also included in that sort of invisible bubble of the consciousness. And that's how it works. And then you'll also be some sort of included in that bubble, sort of. But that will be a bubble in which you're grounded, and you're actually now grounded in the real world. And that will be a very interesting experience, because many people think that they already live in a very concrete, grounded world. But then within the bubble, you are now connected directly to the divine, and therefore to your union and your twin flame. And there will be your true roots. Suddenly you're like, oh, here are my true roots. Oh, I didn't know that. So interesting. And then you see that what before seemed like a very grounded life was actually a societal life, which is floating around very much all over the place in comparison. So yeah, just interesting fact, just that I put in there. But yeah, it is really about this promise. It's really about if you follow me, if you come closer, if you allow our relationship to happen for you. That's what it is about. It's not about when you stay very far away and just pick out some things. You just cherry pick some things that I say and say, oh, these are some things that I can implement for myself, and the rest I let go. Well, that's not where my promises are about. That's not what my guarantee is about. And your result is also not what I'm talking about, probably. Because you might come somewhere, but maybe not at the place where I mean for you to go. 2. Divine Mother giving me everything for the people, for you, all the time. And I also get everything from her all the time. My guidance is about giving you what Divine Mother wants to give you. And then she does that through me. And then I reach that out to you. I sort of became like the talking puppet for Divine Mother. That sounds like nothing, but you understand what I mean. Okay. The talking puppets, the Muppets. I became Divine Mother's Muppet. Or something. Her representative on earth. Hey, that's something, you know. Her representative in heaven on earth. That's what I needed to conclude. That was what I had become for you. And yeah, so that really means that how you deal with me, you deal with Divine Mother. So, and it also means that Divine Mother wants to give you things, and I will now be able to give you that. Things you need to know, revelations that are from the divine itself, who is your true twin flame, who is your soul family, where to look for what your mission is, etc. And these are wonderful gifts, and I can't even help that. And I also, it's like, it's not even my, it's, how do you say that? It's not me that does it. The honor is not mine, it's hers, it's Divine Mother's. She does it. I can't do it on my own, and I don't do it on my own. I have no idea, I'm just a Muppet, okay? But at the same time, I stand for her, so I actually am her at the same time. So that's some sort of a contradiction that's inside this situation, how we came out here, how we came to connect here, you and me. And yeah, you'll need to learn how to deal with that fact. And that's when my guidance starts to work for you. And I get everything from her, and you get everything from her. That's eventually like the setup that we work inside of. 3. It is only overwhelming when you don't follow me on a weekly base, almost daily base, what we do here, what I advise. It's only overwhelming when you don't do it. Do all the things that Divine Mother gives you through me. Because it can be quickly overwhelming for people. The twin flame journey is so much and so quick and so from a divine vibration that is so high. Wow. And yeah, you still have all these impurities. You need to work them out. It's no problem. Everyone has that. But the point is that you will only be knocked out and overwhelmed by everything and everything and everything that is brought up in you when you don't regularly come and keep on connecting and keep on connecting and keep on connecting. When you want to keep it at bay because you feel overwhelmed, then you are sure that you are overwhelmed because you are trying to keep it at bay. When something wants to move through you because it needs to move through you, and that goes together with a lot of crying, then that just better happen right now. And then you won't feel overwhelmed. You see? That's exactly how that works. Sometimes there just genuinely is a whole lot to process. And you some sort of need to do all that emotional processing work right now, and a lot of sleep too, etc., that you have forgotten to execute for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Or even before you were born. In other lifetimes, you may have resisted it as well. So there's a lot to do sometimes. I understand. But just allow it to pass through you. And soon enough, things will calm down. soon enough. But that only really works when you keep on tuning in, tuning in, tuning in, tuning in, and not when you try to resist, because that was the whole problem to start with. Why there is so much for you to process that you might feel overwhelmed by. But you only feel overwhelmed when you don't keep on connecting and keep on doing the inner work. 4. Yeah, I want to be followed closely. I do. You heard that a couple of times from me. But I only want to be followed closely by you for your sake, not for mine. I'm good. I could take a holiday for the rest of the year. I could relax. I could make nature walks every day. Go back to the horses. I'm good. Don't you worry about me. I already have a good life. It's for you that I want to be closely followed. It's for your sake, for your process, for your safety as well. 5. I am someone that follows their deeper being and Divine Mother closely for God's sake, and shows how that is done. My guidance is understood correctly when you start to see with your inner eyes, perhaps, that I'm trying to give an example. I'm trying to be an example of how do you live this journey correctly. How do you indeed go to the consciousness state first and then start to work to build on the physical relationship? How do you do that inner work to build the physical relationship when it seems impossible? When the twin flame is with another? And how do you nevertheless go through with that? From the state of consciousness of harmonious twin flame union, the state of being that you really need and want to. I'm trying to be an example of that for you. I'm trying to be an example of how to receive the divine, because that's what you need, because that's the place where you are already one. You are already in union there together. So that's, I think, a good way to hear me, to listen to me, that I'm trying to present to you what it is, also in participating in the community and whatnot, as someone that does the journey correctly so that you can emulate that. 6, victimhood of childhood trauma. Yeah, sometimes we have that. And that can be pretty real, you know? But you need to come to another position about it to have your harmonious union now and be guided correctly. We're not going to, in other words, acknowledge your victimhood for the victimhood and keep you in it. We're trying to show to you that you can step out of that and that there's a whole different world stretching out in and around you in which that actually never even happened. However far fetched that seems when I say that to you now, that is really the truth, because your soul, who you are in your union, is undisturbed by anything, is in peace now. And that's where you're not the victim. But I understand, I truly do, how big that can be in the temporary ego personality consciousness that tries to reach that inner peace together with your twin flame in union. Oh my God, how big it was for me. Huge. All consuming. Seemingly. All consuming. And the letting go of that, the anger that needed to pass through me. Endless, endless, endless anger. And grief grief like you have no idea, man. I mean, I'm now sitting here with makeup on, etc. But I have been like living in my bed for some years. Because this all needed to be released out of my brain, out of my nervous system, out of my cell memory, out of my memory, my psychology, my emotions, my heart. Wow. But it was done. This complete healing was done by the twin flame inner work, by the healing of union. Amazing, because it worked completely. And that's the only place where this can work completely and truly, until it is done, forevermore, completed, sealed off, even forgotten to a large degree. Amazing, amazing, amazing. How that can be done through this union inner work process. It's really, there are no words for it. So it's just, what an outstanding healer is God. And that's where I could see that I indeed was not a victim. I was not traumatized because the I was someone else. And there's still like parents that have done it to me, etc. They don't want to change, etc., etc. But I don't know. It's like external details. I don't know. That's their thing. Has no bearing on me. So you will come to another position about this victimhood of the childhood trauma, or whatever it is for you. You will come to the position where you see that there is a vast land that is not touched by it at all. And I say that because I have lived it through it, and not because I haven't. In the guidance, we will always guide you from the position of knowing that you are able to step into that vastness and the inner peace that was never touched by it. Because that's who you truly are. But there's also loads of compassion for the fact that you temporarily may be deeply traumatized. I understand. And you will resolve that inside the twin flame inner work. I know that. I know that you will. And I trust that. 7. I actually do give it away for free. So don't come to me with, I don't want to open my wallet, because I actually give it away for free. You just didn't reach into it. In the Facebook group called Your Abundance, we have 4 events per month in which I give all the core approaches that are necessary for you away for free. I give away information about the most important tool in the Facebook group and on my blog, on my website, and in lots of videos too, away for free. There has been a time slot in the time that I developed being here with you and stuff, in which I have in fact given it away for free, guided people personally to their harmonious twin flame union consciousness state for free. That time slot has been open for around 3 years, in which it already worked for me fully and completely, and I was very clearly with marketing offering it online for everyone that wanted to come. And we in fact did it. We reached in that slot for a couple of people their full harmonious twin flame union for free. That time slot of 3 years long, that was your time. And that has been closed off by now. And this will be a movement that we will keep on repeating to the future. Things will sort of move on to a paid thing, and the paid thing will move on to a more expensive thing, and then it will become one step more expensive. So that's just how I sort of build it up. If you want to have it for free, you still can, and you could. And yeah, the fact that you did not come to me in a time slot, that's something that's up to you. I was not influencing that for you. So maybe good to know. And then we have 8. It's not about sisterhood. Yeah, oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's so good to know. So good to understand. Because in the community, in the wider community, I do share some things about myself. Because in a sense, we are sisters and brothers. And it's beautiful that we can all be part of equally being together in the community. And I count myself under that as well. But most of all, my priority is being there as the teacher, because I was also the one that set up the community, right? So I'm there as the teacher. And that is actually the primary reason that I'm on internet at all. And that also is, in a sense, not the sisterhood. It's my teacherhood, if you can say it like that. And that is what is the most important for you, because it helps you. There is a very toxic element about sisterhood or brotherhood or both. And I have seen this play out more often than I like, than anyone would like. Because it's this idea that we're going to be so cozy together on the journey, and then the being mutual on the journey takes priority over the fact that we're actually trying to all connect with the Divine Mother, and that's what helps us. And I'm already there, so we're also not equal in that sense. And often it is about, oh, it's so cozy together, but we're actually enmeshing with each other instead of growing closer to the source and then having a connection as a secondary thing. Because the enmeshment comes first, and enmeshment is also not psychologically right. And it comes first instead of God comes first. And it does not work. It's not even kind. It's psychologically wrong, psychologically toxic. It is not according to the aim of the community. It doesn't help you. It's not true when you see me as your sister on the journey because I already arrived. So it's also a lie. You're also not helped by it because I'm here in the first place as a teacher. And that is what helps you. So, yeah, that's why I say it's not about sisterhood. It's not about, isn't it nice to talk from woman to woman in twin flame unions? That's not what I'm doing here. Although I understand there's an element of that, and that's very okay for me. In a social sense, there is an element of that. And I don't exclude that at all. But the most helpful thing is to understand the thing correctly. And also not to do that with other women among each other. Women that openly promote sisterhood are the biggest bitches I have seen around. That's my personal experience. Literally. Also in the time that I was in Harmonious Twin Flame Union. There was a truth that was revealed to me by a whole group of women that openly proclaimed that it was all about sisterhood. And there was even a whole business built around it. But I've never seen bigger bitches than them that would gang stalk me around the entire internet because I was a tiny bit different and they didn't understand it. Not sure what is sisterhood about that. So it's also a myth that is nonsense most of the time. And in my experience, the biggest bitches are the biggest proclaimers of sisterhood. Sisterhood falls in its natural place when you first can open to source, make come true your harmonious union, start to build on the actual relationship inside of that, and then we can see how close our hearts are and how much we enjoy that, how true that is. And then we live that in truth. And I'm looking forward to that. I genuinely do. And I hope all of this, all those 8 points, helped. Love from Petra. On Monday, 18 November 2024, we start the 5 elements of the Union Heart love game. It is a free social media game and it takes 5 days with a bonus day afterwards as well. And in it, you'll start to feel more about what is the twin flame love that it's all about, that is so core to what brings you towards your harmonious twin flame union. And it starts with touching on self-love and different approaches of that. We'll especially this time be researching what the 5 elements of the union heart really are. And that is the water approach, the air approach, fire, earth, and the etheric approach. And that is going to also be talked about in my social media. Because there are elements of this social media game that you can, via getting the mails, you get to go to the page where you can download your exercises for 5 days and 1 bonus day. But there are also other things like the social media images, and messages and stuff that I will be doing, social media videos. And we will also be gathering together in the Facebook group that is dedicated specifically to the people in this game. You will also be experiencing a live video together as a social meeting among each other to talk about how those experiences of the exercises of the 5 days have been for you and where you came in your heart, in your 5 elements of the union heart, where it brought you. Yeah, I'm very curious what it will do for you this time, and I hope to see you inside of it. To be able to partake, I need your name and your email address because it will be led through email. So the link is below. Click it. Give me your name and your email address. Schedule Monday, November 18. And the 5 days afterwards, approximately an hour or more if you like per day. And yeah, just be sure to schedule that you know that that's when we're starting, right? And I really hope to see you inside, and I'm very curious what will come out for you at this time. So yeah, see you then. Much love from Petra.